Before, if I may, I seek an indulgence, and it's because I said I've completed my questions. However,
May I quickly ask mine?
oh yes, if it's a question, Chair, I thought you were closing the.
Thank you. It's just on one issue. The number of questions will depend on your responses, Colonel. Colonel, this relates to what you say in paragraph 9 of your statement, the statement prepared for the Commission. There you say Umlazi is 11 kilometers away from the depot, which I saw as a risk, and we were working in an uncovered area of the depot. And my sense, I think, when you substantiated on this was basically that you feared that people from Umlazi might descend on the scene and forcibly take away the drugs. That was my sense.
Yes, that's always a possibility.
So I'm correct.
You are correct.
Yes. I assume that there must be quite a lot of searches and seizures in that area, the CHC depot. I assume so. Surely this was not an isolated incident.
The ones I'm aware of, Commissioner, was the one of Warrant Officer Sanders and this one.
But surely it could not have been. It just could not have been.
You said, Chair, there could not have been just
I'm
two.
saying I would be very surprised if this was the only search and seizure at the CHC depot, even if you yourself are not aware of any others. I would be very surprised.
No, there ought to have been.
There ought to have been, yes. Now, in your experience, have people from Umlazi ever descended on a crime scene and forcibly taken whatever it was that was discovered at the crime scene, in your experience?
Can I answer that in two parts, Chair? The volume of this made me consider the risk factor attached to it, the magnitude of this, the value of this drugs recovered. So there's only two major drug busts that I'm aware of at CHC. That was the first one of the Mandrax, 547 kilos, and this was...
Okay, that's the first part. Second part?
Yeah, so it's only two of those. So
I'm saying you said you're going to answer my question in two parts. So the second part of answering me?
Just repeat the question. I lost I lost my train of thought, Chair. Could you please?
And I'm happy that I did not disturb you. You lost it on your own. All right, but that was not my question anyway.
Yes.
My question was, have people from Umlazi ever descended on a crime scene at the CHC depot?
Not that I'm aware.
And removed whatever it was that was discovered when a search and seizure was conducted?
Not that I'm aware of, Chair.
Okay. Now, so your fear was based purely on surmise. Pure surmise.
Yes.
There's a township close by, and those people from the township just might come here and forcibly take this suspected cocaine from us. Mere surprise. People from the township, up on the hill.
You know,
I happen to know where Mlazi is.
Commissioner, that's always a real concern of any policeman when you do a seizure of this nature. That's always a concern, your security issues. And we'd be fools to think that in every situation you are...
Isn't there a residential area? I think there's a residential area before you go up and reach Mlazi, up at the top. Isn't there another residential area somewhere?
Spingo.
Yes.
Yes,
there is.
Yes.
So you suspect the people from Mlazi and not the people from Spingo?
I'm not profiling, but it's known. It's a high-risk area, Chair. I'm saying every attack that ever happened, either on police for... Even
you know, people who deal in substances like cocaine, heroin, and all that are usually the so-called sophisticated people. No. So your fears and so on, and because part of your suspicion seems to be based on the quantity.
Yes.
So that must mean that you thought that the people from Umlazi just might get wind of the fact that there's this big bust here.
That's correct, Chair.
That's true of the people in Isipingo as well. And as I say, the so-called more sophisticated-looking people are, by and large, the people that are involved in this sort of thing. Or am I also profiling?
Chair, what I would want to say, when all comes to light, at some point when arrests are made, I think then we all will be enlightened as to why my concerns were also a little valid. I won't go into in depth.
But the important point is that you are not able to say that people from Umlazi ever descended on CHC to forcibly remove drugs or any other thing discovered in a bust or after a search and seizure or pursuant to a search and seizure. That's the important thing. So you just assume that the people up on the hill just might do that. Pure surmise.
Now I realize, Chair, what I was thinking of earlier.
Now,
Yeah.
that's one of your... Oh, you just remembered something. Oh, yes.
I'm saying every attack that ever happened, whether it be policemen robbed for firearms or policemen robbed for monies that they were carrying, which happened not too long ago, was at some stage not heard of. Every attack or every type of incident, there had to be a first time for everything. So although it may not have happened, it's a risk that we have to consider, because there certainly would have been attacks on police, certain robberies on police for their firearms and things that would have been a first in that area, would have been a first for a certain scenario. So as much as it had not happened before, I can't say that there's no risk of it happening based on the value of those exhibits. And more especially, Chair, like I say, compounded by the fact that we didn't have enough exhibit bags. The station was only 4 kilometers away. Those were the factors in my mind. And I agree with you. I can't say with certainty that there would have been an attack.
And you are not aware of an attack since?
No, I'm not aware of an attack. I'm not aware of a large amount.
So
of
meaning that if you are the one to conduct a bust, you will always, in the vicinity of Umlazi, you will always conduct it differently because you are fearful of Umlazi.
No.
Yes or no?
Commissioner.
So whenever you are involved, you'll go there, quickly remove the drugs and take them wherever you consider safe, maybe Sipingo.
No, Chair.
Yes.
I'm saying when we go into these type of locations,
Yes.
we go with adequate manpower. We go with a tactical team. You go with enough vehicles. You go with members armed with rifles.
Then that raises another question. Why did you not do exactly that on this occasion? That's not an answer. Why did you not do that on this occasion as well? You just call Mbanga, say, that's one person, and you say, hey, is KG there? And KG happened to be there, and that was all. Eh? And then it was just the three of you. And yet you know, as you sit there and as you say now, that the proper thing to do is to go to a crime scene like this. You're not going to a crime scene involving maybe the theft of a case of beer. No. It's a crime scene involving cocaine, a drug bust, serious crime. You do not go there with the necessary manpower. Did you have a reason for not doing so?
Chair, I think if I was at the office, not I think, if I was
No,
at the
did you
office,
have a reason for not doing so?
it's because I was on vacation leave. I didn't attend to all.
What on earth does that mean?
If I was at the office,
Because to get manpower, even if you are not physically at the office, there's the convenience of a telephone.
yes.
You could have made calls and you could have spoken to someone who could, if you could not do it yourself, someone who could mobilize the necessary resources.
Yes, you're correct, Chair.
So you've not answered my question then. Why did you not do that? Why did you not make sure that you had enough resources in terms of police officers?
Yes. I think compounded by the fact, Chair, that I didn't know what we were getting into. I just knew it was container.
You knew that you were going to a drug bust. You knew that. And it was so important to you that you even said that I came out of leave because it's something quite important to each and every police officer. It's an ego boost. I'm paraphrasing, but that was the essence of what you said. So it's something quite crucial. And leaving aside the ego boost, this is a drug bust. Again, it's not going to a crime scene involving the theft of beer. It's quite something quite serious. Why did you not mobilize and get other police officers so that you would not be concerned about Umlazi? Because my sense is that had you had enough police resources, you would not have cared about Umlazi. Am I correct?
You're correct.
So why did you not organize enough people to secure the area?
Our tactical team, Chair, was out on that day. They were out.
Surely I find that difficult to believe, because that would have been the first thing you say once I started engaging you. I'm asking this question now for the third time. I find that very hard to believe.
It's also in my affidavit or my info note that somewhere I did write that. I even considered calling our tactical team out, but I know they were out on that day. That is why they even took a long time to get to where we were at Isipingo.
But are you saying that, I know that the technical team is a specialized team, but are those the only police officers that could have given reinforcement? Are those the only ones?
Chair, Isipingo has got less manpower. You see, even Warrantop in Warrant Officer Sanders' statement, he states that Perumal told him we don't have enough manpower.
Do you not get resources from other police stations when it's necessary?
Yes, we do, Chair. And like I said-
And, sorry. And you had, maybe saying luxury of time, but I'll still use that. You actually had the luxury of time because it's not as if that container was going to be spirited away from the CHC depot. So you could have contacted other police stations to get the necessary manpower. Could you not have?
I could have, Chair.
Why did you not do it? So it's not an excuse to say that your own at Isipingo were not at Isipingo, had gone on whatever. So that's not an answer to my question. Why did you not reinforce from elsewhere?
Chair, even the response time when it comes to these units, when you want this tactical support, it's not at the drop of a hat that you make a call and now within 10, 15 minutes.
So you don't even try. You go there, it's you, it's Mpangase and Ksibia. So that's your choice. And you know that Mlazi, which you fear, is close by. You choose to do that instead of trying to get reinforcements. Because you never know. Trying, maybe you could have gotten reinforcement, for all you know as you sit there. You can't say, I did not try just because it's not a case of getting reinforcement within 15 minutes. You did not know for a fact whether you could or you couldn't. And add to that what I said earlier, which is that in a sense you had the luxury of time because it's not as if that container was going to be spirited away.
Yes, I can't dispute that, Chair. I took a decision.
So you just rushed in with 3 people. One of them, as Commissioner Baloyi indicated, knows nothing about this sort of operation. Just 3 of you rushing in. And then perchance being assisted by the ORS subs members.
Yes. Chair,
Perchance.
yes. You know, Chair, I would not, and I can say this with confidence, I would not have moved to Isipingo station if those uniform members were not there. Because I know, obviously, then it's a red flag. It's just the 3 of us from one unit.
No. Now you are talking about what happened at the tail end. I'm engaging you about what happened at the beginning. Let's not go to the tail end. I'm not there.
Yes, I didn't ask for any backup. I could have, I did not.
And my sense is that you had no reason not to.
Once again, it's
Let's forget about this thing about it's not a 15-minute thing and so on. You basically had no reason not to.
It's the time issue. That's all I can say.
Tell me about the time issue.
Just that I know in experience, by the time you call a certain commander, then he directs you to somebody, then you phone that member, and then he mobilizes his guys. It's only when you give them prior notice. That's how the police works. It's
So
not,
you, back to my question, so you choose not to even try. I will leave it
yes,
at that.
I chose not to.
I'll leave it at that. Now, from where I'm sitting, it seems to me that the Umlazi issue was not really an issue because you either ought to have gotten reinforcement or tried to. And if it was to be an issue, it would only be an issue if you had tried and failed, and then you say, I'm here, there's Umlazi here, I fear Umlazi, then I must rush away. Otherwise, that situation that you are fearful of is self-created. Self-created in the sense that you have not taken necessary steps to ensure that you have reinforcement.
Yes, I can accept.
You accept that?
Yes.
All right. Now, what I want to add to this thing about the fear of Umlazi not making sense to me, what I want to add to that is this. Yesterday when I engaged you, you accepted that you could have had the container removed because when you were engaged by Ms. Sillo today, you said you didn't have much space on the door side of the container. I think you said it was only 2 meters and that there was a lot of whatever it was behind. So just 2 meters from the doors of the container. When I engaged you yesterday, you accepted that you could have gotten the container removed from where it was to some other area within the CHC depot, and that once there, you could have done the necessary cordoning off, and then you could have been able to conduct the search and seizure in a proper manner. Do you remember accepting that yesterday?
Yes, I do, Chair.
So when you look at those 2 issues, the fact that the Umlazi issue does not make sense, and to which right at the tail end of that debate you said you accept everything that I'm suggesting to you. So when we look at that, and we look at the fact that you could have removed that container and then you could have been able to do the search and seizure properly with no impediments, it makes all the other reasons that you gave yesterday to pale into insignificance. Do you accept that?
I don't want to argue with you. I'll accept.
You accept that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Just very quickly,